morning everyone. Hi and welcome. My name's Amanda and welcome to the Little Likac podcast. It is episode 35 and today is Monday the 29th of August 2022. It's been a couple of weeks since I podcast, not that long, literally actually slightly less than 2 weeks. Probably by the time this goes up it'll be about 2 weeks. So my name is Amanda. This is a knitting and crochet podcast and I'm coming to you from Derby in the UK. You can find me on Ravelry as Likac66. You can find me on Instagram as Little Likac Yarn, Etsy as Little Likac Yarn, and if you want to email me, my email is littlelikac@gmail.com. So yes, welcome to episode 35. I've got so much to show you today, so much. I've done a lot of knitting in the last 2 weeks. I've got finished objects. I have a lot of acquisitions. I've got some new cast-ons. And yes, just lots of knitting things have happened in the last 2 weeks, which has been brilliant. I've been to some knitting places, I've met up with knitting friends, and I've actually got quite a lot of knitting done. So it's been a really good couple of weeks, so loads to show you. It could be a long one, so hang on in there. Oh, and of course we've got the giveaway as well, so thank you if you left a comment on the last video. If you left a comment with the word sunshine in it, then you were automatically entered for the giveaway for the sunshine pinny little dress pattern. So I will be picking the winner for that today as well. And if it's a UK winner, then I will send you the yarn that I've got left over from making it as well. But I'm afraid if it's international, I won't be able to do that because costs of international postage at the moment is pretty horrendous. But if it's a UK winner and if you want it, I can send you the leftover yarn that I've got. Okay, so let's get on. Shall we start with what I'm wearing? I have put on a shawl wrap this morning because it's a little bit chilly. Weather has still been really warm for UK. This is going to be one of the warmest summers I would think we've had for a very long time. And this is a cotton wrap that I just popped on. I'm not sure actually if it's going to stay on. I'll probably take it off while I record this, but I'm going out shopping. I'm going to Nottingham with my younger daughter today and I might just throw this around me, just have something around my shoulders. So what is this? I knitted this back in 2017, so it's 5 years old. I do wear it sometimes. It doesn't get a lot of wear, but it does get worn maybe a couple of times each year. And I knitted it in Jaeger Sienna, which is a 4-ply cotton. I looked at my Ravelry notes. I didn't make a note of how much I used. I want to say it was about 3.5 balls, and if I remember rightly they were doing 50-gram balls, so I think it was about that, so possibly nearly 200 grams of cotton. So I will show you the shawl. It's called the Echo Wrap by the designer Cheryl Toy, and it is a triangle, but it's kind of like a long extended triangle, and it has I-cord edging, which I don't think you did that. No, you don't do that separately. You knitted that as you went along. Why would you knit that separately? So it's, if I remember rightly, you start, I can't remember which way you started actually. I would think you start at that end. I can't remember though if I'm really honest. And you've got all of these beautiful diamonds, and it's all, say, it's a long elongated triangle. And then you've got this edging at the end here, and it would make sense because it's got like picot, so I'm thinking this must have been the bind off. So I think it was really quite straightforward, and then this beautiful lace edging, which is absolutely adorable. So yeah, I did it in 2017 on my Etsy page, not my Etsy page, my Ravelry page. It is described as a Moroccan wrap because I started it and knitted quite a lot of it, quite a lot of this part of it when we were on holiday in Morocco, which I can't believe that was 2017. Really can't believe that was that long ago. So I referred to it as my Moroccan wrap. And then I can remember knitting it in Morocco, knitted it in a lot of the evenings in the bar, in the hotel bar, because I remember a waiter coming over to me and saying how his mum used to knit, and watching me knit reminded me of his mother and stuff, which was probably not a compliment. But, no, I'm sure it was meant as a compliment, but you know, from an age point of view. But so yes, so I knitted it in cotton 4-ply, Jaeger Sienna, which I probably got off a for an eBay de-stash knowingly, and it's beautiful lilac colour, goes really nicely with the dress I'm wearing, goes nicely with my nails. So yes, I'm probably going to wear this when I go out shopping later today. See how much it annoys me while I'm wearing it in here. So yeah, so that's not a finished object, it's just what I'm wearing, but I have got some finished objects to show you. So last time, and I thought I'd put everything in, yeah. So last time I saw you, I had just started this beret, and it was a really, really quick knit, and I had knitted it as part of Mandy from Mouse's Makes, her Ukraine knit along, and this was a free pattern called Vintage Vibes. I can't remember actually the name of the designer. I know it'll be on my little project card. Oh, that's really annoying, it's not in my library. I've had my Ravelry page all set up ready to show you or to refer to things. Okay, I'll find it in my projects instead then. So it's called Vintage Vibe Beret, and it is designed by Katherine Grushevskaya. Apologies if the pronunciation isn't great, but there will be a project card there that you can see, and I'll probably put a photo as well of me wearing it. You can see the back of it. But, it's cute. It's a nice little slouchy beret. Be lovely autumn colour. I do wear berets, so it's finished, and this is knitted in Ducky Darling's bamboo sock yarn. So I think that was 80% merino, 20% bamboo, or 75-25. So it's a merino bamboo blend. The colourway is Berry Fusion. It only used about 30-40 grams of it, so I've got quite a lot of this left over. Beautiful colour. So it's a slightly more browny pink than the colour is showing on my camera, on my iPad here. But if you can see those browns there, this pink is slightly more browny than it's showing. So really nice, easy pattern, really quite straightforward. Knitted this in a couple of days, so very pleased with that. I've got 60 grams left over. I'm going to say at the moment, I'm going to say, oh, maybe I'll do some fingerless gloves to go with it. I'm terrible. I'm always saying I'm going to do fingerless gloves, then I never get around to it. But it would make quite a cute little matching set actually of some simple fingerless gloves with that, and that would be quite good in my classroom after school when it gets quite cold in there because I turn the heating off. So yes, so there we go, finished object number one. Let me just have a little drink of my tea. I don't know if I showed you this. Excuse me. This is a really, really cute mug that my daughters bought for me. They were charity shopping, and they saw this and knew that I would love it, which I do. But the funny thing is, I think the week before I'd been in the same charity shop and seen it and been really tempted to buy it. But we have a lot of mugs in the house, a lot of cute mugs, and I thought, oh no, I better not bring another mug home. So I was super pleased when the girls bought it for me. It's so cute. It's absolutely adorable. And I'm drinking a Rubus tea from, what's it called? Not Microsoft, Watersoft. No, not Watersoft, I'm talking Waterdrop, the company Waterdrop. This is one of their hot micro drinks. One thing I'd say about this mug, as cute as it is, it's a bit awkward to drink out of because of the alpaca's head. It's probably supposed to be a llama actually, but I always refer to them as alpacas anyway because I love alpacas, they're super cute. So anyway, another finished object to show you. So last time, you'll know I was knitting on the Oberon socks, and I suddenly had a realisation during filming the podcast that I had only got a tiny little bit left to go on the socks. So I've forgotten to bring a second one of these down. This is the one that I was working on last time, and that's where I had got to. So you can see I just had that round, a couple of pattern repeats to finish, and the toe, and hooray! I started these in February, I'm ashamed to say. That's probably the end of February. But they are now completed. So this is the Oberon sock by Penny Baker Knits, and it has this beautiful cable down the front, and it is really beautiful. Just cable, I love cable, but cable on sock needles is slow. It was really easy to remember because it's only a six row repeat, I think. So it's dead easy to remember. It's just though there's something to do on every row, because even on the row when you're not cabling, you're cabling every other row, and on the row that you're not cabling, you've got these purls to do. So, you know, some socks you have maybe a couple of rows where you are just knitting all the way around. There's not any rows like that, so that's why for me it took longer, because I always find purling on DPNs, particularly sock needle size DPNs, much slower, much slower. So worth it though, really pleased. And the yarn that I used was my Little Likac Mystery Sock Club from February, which is Little Red Riding Hood. So they are finished and they will go in the sock box in my wardrobe. And I have cast on some new socks, so I'll show you those in a bit. So yeah, 2 finished objects, but that's not it. Wait, there's more. So I also finished my dad's Christmas present. It won't be his only Christmas present, but yes, the woolly one, the slouchy sock head. Let me get it up. Oh. So this is not in my Ravelry page. Is that right? It's not on my Ravelry page. Okay, need to add that in. I will double check later, because it may be that it is that I didn't put the right dates in or something. So it's the Sockhead Slouch hat by Kelly Mclure. And this would seem to be taking me forever because you have a lot of 2x2 rib. And again, this is a free pattern. But once I had got the rib done, and then it was just stocking stitch, this just flew off the needles. But the ribbing took a long time. I did ask my husband to try it on. I haven't done it slouchy. I've tried to do it more beanie style, but on my husband there's still a little bit of slouch to it. I guess it depends. You can roll up the ribbing a bit further. So I hope my dad likes it. My dad's a farmer. I'm hoping he will like it to have to wear on the field in the winter when he does a lot of walking around the fields, checking on lambs, cows, whatever. I'm hoping he will like that. He works with cows mostly. So I'm hoping he will like that. It's a very plain, boring colour, but I spoke to my mum and she went, yeah, just go with, you know, dark, single colour, nothing too funky. So, and this is knitted in Regia sock yarn, grey. I think I probably gave the shade number last week. I've not brought the ball band down with me. I've got nearly a full ball of it left. It only used, so they were 50-gram balls, so this only used less than 60 grams, I'd say. I've even woven in all the ends, so it is finished, and it is a Christmas project finished, so I am very pleased with that. But still more finished objects to show you. Kind of slightly cheating one. This one is a square for a blanket, so the blanket's not finished, but this square is finished. This is the Stitch on Sunday blanket by Kelly Menzies, and this is square number 7, I believe. Now I haven't brought down, oh I have actually. I'm knitting this in acrylic Stylecraft Special DK, excuse me, which is a very popular yarn for blankets, particularly in the crochet world. Lots of people use this for crocheting blankets. That colour, now I thought I'd been super organised, but that colour is, I think, probably called Rose, Pale Rose, and it is shade 1080. So yeah, it's Stylecraft Special DK. This is a blanket that I'm knitting for my in-laws. The plan had been to do it for Christmas, so I really need to get a move on. I started square number 8, but there are 40 squares to do. This one is shade 1065 Meadow, so I'm using 5 different colours. So I really do need, if I'm going to get this done for Christmas, I need to do a couple of squares a week, I think, really. So, because I've got a lot of squares left to do. I need to work that out, actually. I need to work out how many squares per week I need to do and actually get cracking on that. So the pattern is called Stitch on Sunday Blanket, and it's by Kelly Menzies, who's also known as RowRowandKades. I've mentioned her quite a few times. She's a designer I use quite a lot, and I've had the pleasure of meeting her, and I'm going to be seeing her again in a couple of weeks, so I'll tell you more about that in the sort of like the life and news section after I've gone through all my projects. But yeah, so she's a great designer. That blanket pattern is free. It is free on her blog, or you can sign up to her newsletter and get it through that, I think. But if you go to her website, RowRowandKades, go to her website, I'm sure there'll be information on there how you can get it. I got it through a way so that I got sent each squares pattern every week. But obviously I didn't knit it every week like I should have done. But I'm sure it is all available on her blog. She is working on putting it together as an actual full pattern, but as it's a freebie, it's probably not her first priority. She's got lots of other things on the go. She's got a great podcast as well. But yes, it is available for free, so check it out. It's a really, really good pattern. It's a really good pattern actually if you are relatively new to knitting as well and want to try lots of different lace patterns, because every square is different. Okay, and that's still not all the finished objects. Or this last one though is really, really tiny. So when I met Kelly, actually, it was at Yorkshire Yarn Fest, which I went to in June. I have to keep thinking. And one of the things I bought there was this little kit for a bracelet with these little beads on, and I thought it was a really cute idea, and it's ever such a simple knit, but the kit came with the yarn, the beads, and the fastening for the bracelet. So I thought, because you know, there's that part of you that kind of goes, I could probably work that out, but then I just, no, it's all there together with the right beads, the right fastening, etc. And it's made with Weardale 4-ply wool, and the kit came with about 3 grams, and I probably only used half of it. So this is the bracelet, and as you can see, it goes nicely with hair. I've got a hairband there. Everybody with long hair probably always has a hair bobble on their wrist, don't they? Right, so yes, so this is the little bracelet. It's really cute. That's the fastening. Even the fastening's really cute. It was ever so quick to make. It took me a couple of hours at the most, probably not even that, to make. And it's just really simple and pretty. Goes really well with the colour of the dress I'm wearing underneath here as well. So it came from, I think they're also called the Knitting Gift Shop, and they have got a website. So the knittinggiftshop.co.uk. It was just £5 for the kit. Make a really nice little present either as a kit and make a nice little present for knitters, or obviously you could knit them and make them as gifts. And once you've bought the kit you could probably get the other bits off of somewhere like eBay or somewhere if you were planning on making a number of them, which I might do. So yeah, really, really cute pattern, cute kit. I love the little bracelet, it's really sweet. And the only thing I'd say is because it's a really soft, and it's such a soft wool, it is going really fluffy already. So I might do some in cotton perhaps, which wouldn't go fuzzy so quickly. But so cute, really love it. Right, so those are all my finished objects. I hope you're impressed. How many was that? So we've got the beret, the hat for my dad, the bracelet, the blanket square if we're counting that, and the socks. 5 finished objects. 5 finished objects. That has got to be a record. But I have cast on some new things. So I deserve to, don't I? Come on. If I've finished 5 things, you know, and I don't think I've cast on 5 things. Don't think so. 3. Cast on 3. So here are my new cast ons. So when I podcast 2 weeks ago, I had bought yarn on holiday, and I was talking about what I might make with it, and there was a pattern that I was considering making. Well, after, I think it was after I'd recorded the podcast and I was going through all the patterns. Oh yeah, no, somebody, I forgot to put the name of the pattern, and somebody left a comment on YouTube asking what was the name of the sweater pattern that I was considering. So I looked it up, and it's called Here Comes the Sun, and I looked at it in a bit more detail and saw that the designer is Ukrainian. And as I mentioned before, Mandy had this make-along for Ukrainian designers. So I suddenly thought, right, it's a sign. It is a sign that I should do this design and that I should cast it on now. And so I bought the pattern and started knitting this colourwork sweater called Here Comes the Sun. The designer is Olga. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce the surname. But she goes also as Closet Handmade. Or Handmade Closet. Handmade Closet. She's a newish designer. She lives in New York now, but she is from Ukraine originally. And this is what I have got done so far. So I am very, very pleased with this. Really pleased with it. Really pleased with how the colours are working together. Now, it is a cropped design on the original pattern. I'm not going to do it completely cropped, but I am going to do it as a shorter dress though, I've decided, because I'm going to try and wear it with skirts or dresses rather than necessarily jeans, because very often I add extra length because I'm always paranoid covering my stomach or covering my bum, whatever. But I've decided I am going to keep this as a shorter design. So I've actually not got much more to knit in this plain cream before I start doing more colour work again. If you watched the podcast last time, excuse me, you might remember that I won't have enough cream, or I don't think I'll have enough cream to do all the rest in this cream. But I did buy 4 balls in total of this pink, and I'm on my second ball of that. No, I will be on my second ball of that. I've used pretty much a whole ball. So what I will do is probably the ribbing around the bottom and the sleeves will be in this pink, because I will probably run out of the cream. So I will have to do a little bit of changing around with colours for the colour work that's left. There's colour work left to do on the sleeves. So I think my plan is to finish knitting the cream on here and then do the colour work. I'll start doing some of the colour work around the bottom of the body, then do the sleeves to the colour work and start doing the colour work on the sleeves, because it will be a case of measuring, weighing out, because I've only got a very small amount of orange left. I'm going to talk about this bag and the things in a minute as well. So I've only got this amount of orange left, so I'm going to divide that into 2 and just put a little bit of orange in one part of the sleeve colour work, because there won't be enough orange to go around. So the flowers or the sun design that is at the bottom will be done in pink and blue, and then the ribbing and the bottom half of the sleeves will be done in this pink. That's the plan. We'll see how we go. There'll be probably quite a lot of weighing of yarn as we go. I've got quite a lot of blue left, so there'll probably be quite a lot of weighing to go as we go along, and I'll just do what I can. But I'm really, really happy with how that's coming out. So I'm knitting this in yarn that I bought in Italy, and my absolute apologies for my terrible Italian pronunciation. I tried to pronounce this last time as Betula, I'm going to go with. So it's Betula. I'm trying to think how an Italian might say it. Betula. Yarn, Solis, and the colour of this is Bordeaux, and it is 100% merino. So yeah, merino wool, 100% wool, so I'm assuming it's 100% merino wool, and I'm knitting it on, I think I'm knitting it on 4mm or 3.75mm needles. I'll have to double check that. The pattern is, as I say, called Here Comes the Sun. I've got 6 balls of cream, 4 balls of pink, and 1 ball of the blue and orange. So I'll talk more about this beautiful bag shortly when I talk about acquisitions. So that's a new cast on, and it's knitting up really quickly. I'm actually going to call that my Rhinebeck sweater. What's a Rhinebeck sweater, you say? Well, you may know what a Rhinebeck sweater is, and I'm not going to Rhinebeck. So Rhinebeck is a place in New York State in America, and they hold a wool show there in October every year, Rhinebeck Wool Festival. And it's a massive, massive wool festival and a huge event for knitters in America. I think I may have read something like that. They get something like 30,000 visitors over the weekend. So it's a huge knitting paradise, a knitting mecca, and probably not just knitters either, spinners and weavers, and crocheters. And it's held, as I say, in New York State in America. I'm never going to get to go to it. I'm certainly not going to get to go to it in the next 5-10 years, I can't imagine. Maybe when I've retired, but then I might have the money. Anyway, but there is a thing in the knitting community, in some parts of the knitting community, that if you're going to Rhinebeck, that you knit a sweater, especially to wear while you're at Rhinebeck. And that's become known as a Rhinebeck sweater. But then lots of other people sort of said, well, I can't get to Rhinebeck, but I'm going to knit a sweater for autumn as well. And just call it a Rhinebeck sweater because I will use the date of Rhinebeck as a deadline. Well, that sweater I've just knitting, that's going to be my Yarndale sweater, which I'm doing in the style of Rhinebeck. I would like to wear that to Yarndale. Now, Yarndale is the 24th of September, which is a couple of weeks before Rhinebeck. And the UK weather is so hit and miss. There is a good chance actually that it might be too warm to wear that sweater. Apparently that happens sometimes at Rhinebeck as well. You see apparently lots of people walking around sweating away in these thick sweaters, because quite often Rhinebeck sweaters quite often tend to be colour work. So that's my Yarndale / Rhinebeck sweater. I would like to have it finished by the 24th of September. So that I can wear it to Yarndale, which I am going to, which I'm really excited about. I hadn't planned on going to Yarndale, and then it got closer, the dates got closer, and people I know were talking about going, and I was like, got to go. So I am going to Yarndale, going with my friend Kate. We're going up on the train. It's at Skipton. It's the weekend of the 24th and 25th of September, and it's quite a big wool show for the UK. I don't think it's the biggest. I don't know what would be the biggest, maybe Wonderwool in Wales, maybe. Perth, there's one up in Perth, I think, or Edinburgh Yarn. Oh, you know, there are perhaps some bigger ones, but this is one of the biggest ones, I think, in the UK. So I'm really looking forward to that, and yes, I'm going to be working away on that sweater to try and finish it. Oh, talking of working on sweaters though, I am still working on my daughter's colourwork sweater, Treelight, so that's a work in progress. And I have finished the body up to the point where I now need to put that on some waste yarn, and then knit the sleeves and then put that together. So that is as much of the body done before it goes on to scrap yarn, and then it will be joined together with the sleeves and start on the colourwork. Now the deadline for that in my head is my daughter's birthday, which is the 12th of October, and actually I guess the deadline's slightly before that because I need to post it up to her then. So I'm just going to move moving my progress marker before I showed you actually how much progress I've made. So that's how much I've done on it since you last saw it 2 weeks ago. So that's not a bad amount really. So all I need to do now is put that on scrap yarn and then get started on the sleeves, and the sleeves are plain as well at this point, and then you get to do the fun part with the yoke. So we just move my progress marker. So I'm knitting that in a cotton blend. That's where you always get my fun pronunciations. So this is the Schachenmayr Casual Soft, which is 73% cotton, 19% wool and 8% viscose. It is really, really soft. I was reading a bit more about it actually. So it's 73% cotton, 19% wool, and apparently they dye it using wool dye. So actually that's why it's got this kind of almost mould effect, because it's only the wool that takes the dye and the cotton stays the sort of natural colour, and therefore that's what gives it this really lovely almost kind of like mould effect, I guess you call it. So when I get to the colour work part, those are the colours. There's a grey somewhere as well. Oh, not grey, cream. Those will be the colour work part. So that needs working on quite a lot over the next few weeks as well. Hopefully going to hit that deadline of sending it up for her birthday. If not, the other thing actually is I'm probably planning on going up to see her in half term, so it could just be that I aim to have it finished for that. Then I can take it up with me and then see her, try it on. Right, okay, so another new cast on. So I finished that pair of socks, and really what I should have done, I've got some hidden socks from last year that still haven't been finished. So I should have picked one of those to carry on with, but I didn't. I decided just to cast on a really plain self-striping sock. It's not plain, is it? It's a plain pattern, but the yarn is certainly not plain. So this yarn is from West Yorkshire Spinners. It's a Zandra Rhodes one, so it's West Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply, a Zandra Rhodes colourway, and it is Forest Stripes, which is 1026. 75% wool, 25% nylon. West Yorkshire Spinners is a very, very popular sock yarn over in the UK, and it is knitting up in these lovely stripes. And I'm just going to have that as a plain sock to take with me. I have still got a pair of socks in the car that really are not getting an awful lot of work done on them. I did some work on them while I've been away the last couple of days, but because I don't drive, because my eldest daughter is away at university, youngest daughter has now passed a driving test and drives herself to places. I always used to have a pair of socks to knit on in the car, because quite often I was picking them up from places, taking them to places, waiting with them, and that's obviously just isn't happening anymore. So those socks really are not getting much work on them. So, and they are supposed to be a Christmas present for my mum. So the hat for my dad and the socks for my mum. So at some point they're probably going to have to come out of the car, and I'm just going to have to work on them in the house. So I've cast on those socks. It'll just be plain, they'll just be plain vanilla knitting, but obviously they will come up in lovely stripes. So that is another cast on. Right, those are all my current projects. I did also wind the yarn for another new cast on that hasn't happened yet. So I went to a knitting, I almost want to say knitting retreat. It was only for an afternoon. A knit and natter afternoon at a lovely hall in sort of between Chesterfield and Sheffield. I can't think what the name of the hall was. It was organised by somebody called Nibbles, Needles and Hooks, and she's been organising a monthly get-together of knitters or crocheters, and you have an afternoon tea and you have a guest indie dyer who comes and does a pop-up shop. And you just get to meet other knitters and chat. And I didn't know what project I was going to take to work on. I'd got my sock hat which I didn't particularly want to work on because it's such a boring colour and Regia yarn, blah blah blah, but it would have been a quick, easy to knit on. And everything else, and then I had the sweater, Eloise's sweater that I just showed, which again would have been easy to knit on, but it was quite big. So I thought, oh, maybe I'll cast something else on to take with me. But in the end, I didn't. I took those 2 projects. But I did, I've got this, I thought, sorry. So then I was trying to decide what else I should cast on. And I prepped this, but didn't actually cast it on. And I decided, I've got this beautiful, beautiful lace weight silk yarn from Fibre Space. It is 45% silk, 55% merino. And it's the Fibre Space Scrumptious lace, and it really is scrumptious. And I've got 2 balls of this, or 2 skeins of this. So I wound up one skein with the idea that I was going to start work on this pattern. Now it says it's a shrug, and it's called the Medallion Edged Shrug. But I'm not going to knit it as a shrug because I've got 2 skeins. I can make it much longer. So my plan is to make it a longer cardigan. But you knit all the cardigan first in one piece, just plain, and then that lace edging gets added after. So most of it is just going to be fairly mindless stocking stitch, lace weight. So I really do want to do it, and I'm trying to work out really when I'm going to get that cast on. I guess really in reality I need to get at least one of these 2 colourwork sweaters finished before I cast that on. But it's one step closer. It's in a project bag and one skein is wound. So it is, and I've bought the pattern, so it's one step closer to being cast on. So that is all the project work. It is. But I have got a lot of new acquisitions to show you. So I'm going to do the giveaway for the pinafore dress, because I do know that some people don't want to watch the acquisitions because for various reasons, and I understand that. I've had times myself actually when looking at what other people have bought, and sometimes either almost like made me want to go out and buy more yarn, which isn't always something you want to do or that you can afford to do, or so I understand if you don't want to watch the acquisitions. So I will do the giveaway draw next, but I have got some lovely things if you do want to watch the acquisition section. So I have set up ready to go. So what I'm drawing is the pinafore pattern, the Sunshine Pinny, for that beautiful pinafore dress that I knitted for Bryony. Oh, and just on an aside, it was Bryony's christening this weekend, so I have been away for a couple of days down to Devon, and I saw Bryony on the Friday when I got down there, and she was wearing the sunshine dress and she looked so cute in it. I gave her mum, Hannah, some yarn and a stitch marker, one of my duck stitch markers. Well, Bryony wanted that duck stitch marker straight away, and she just kept holding it going, tiny ducky, tiny ducky. It was so cute, so cute. And yes, so it was lovely seeing her wearing the dress, and it fits her really quite well now, but I can see as well it will grow with her. So anyway, so if you entered the giveaway, I'm using YouTube random comment picker, and I've put in the link to that video. There were only a few people, there's only about 8 or 9 people I think who put the word sunshine in their comment, so that's fine. I just have to do a get YouTube comments, got the comments, right, start raffle and pick random winner. And it's Blue Heart Crochet. So she put, hope you have a wonderful birthday. I love the pink top. The pattern is so pretty. Bryony looks adorable in the sunshine dress. So Blue Heart Crochet, and I can't think what I know that I know your real name because I know that I've got you on Instagram as well. But if you contact me, I will send you a copy of the pattern. And if you are in the UK, and I'm really not sure if you are or not, but if you are in the UK and if you'd like it, I can send you the leftover yarn, which would definitely be enough to make a dress in the larger size, because I only used half of that for Bryony's dress. So yay, well done to Blue Heart Crochet. Right, so what have I bought? I'm going to try and do this in order. If you remember, last time I had bought these 3 sock yarns from a new yarn store that I've gone to, the Yarn Pantry in Sandy Acre, and I had said that I thought I might use these for a fade. And then the more I thought about it, the more I thought, yes, that is definitely what I want to do with this. But then I thought, if I ended up doing something long sleeved, would 3 balls be enough? If I wanted to do a longer sweater with long sleeves, would 3 be enough? And I couldn't decide. So I thought what I might do is go back to the shop and buy 1 more of that, so that I had got more of the last colour. But when I went, they didn't have any more of that. They had 1 more ball of that, but they didn't have any more of that. So that, and I didn't take these with me. So then I had to choose a 4th ball, and I didn't have these with me, and I couldn't work out which ball to get. And they also had it's opal sock yarn. They also had it on offer, 2 balls for £10. So they'd already reduced it down from £7.99 a ball to £5.99 a ball, and then it was 2 balls for £10. So then it's like £5 a ball. So I thought, well, I may as well get 2. So then I couldn't decide. I didn't have these with me, which I really should have taken. So then I couldn't decide what to go for, and well, bless him, the man who works at the shop, he took everything off the shelf for me so I could look, and I ended up buying 4 balls, and I knew, for example, I knew that wouldn't go as a fade, but look at the colours. So, and of course, if I bought 3, I had to buy 4 to get the deal. But this one, this is the one that is going to go really nicely. So well, I am going to do this as a fade, and those now are my 4 colours. Is there a way of doing it like that? Those now are my 4 colours for that fade. Don't know what sweater I'm going to do, but it will be done in that fade, and that's just going to be gorgeous. And if I do only need 3 balls, maybe I'll just use those. So those are going to be for a sweater, and I had said last time I wasn't sure about using opal for garments, but feeling it now, it feels pretty soft, so I think it'll be absolutely fine. So those are so I bought that one, and that is shade 1104, and it's from the Opal Memories range, and that will go with those other 3 that I bought. I also bought this one, which is from their Herbs Melody range, which I think one of the other ones is, yeah, that one that I bought last time. And this is 11127, and that's stripes. And I bought this one, which is from the Fascination range. These are all 75% wool, 25% polyamide. And this one is 11032, and it will knit up like that. And then I got this one, which is Viridian's Schafpat range. Apologies for my German pronunciation. And that knits up, that's got a bit more of that kind of Fair Isle patterning to it. And it is 7955. So, oh, it looks like these have got colourway names, all in German. Do you want me to attempt the pronunciation of the colourway names? Because I can do this one. This one is just called Kate. We're good with that. So check out my pronunciation there. Kate. Okay. 7955. This could be hilarious. My German. I did do German for a year at school. This one, 11032, Schafpat 13, Fascination Schafpat, and the colourway is Übernachtung auf der Heide. Übernachtung auf der Heide. There you go. And is Drachensteigen. Or Drachensteigen? Drachensteigen. So now I need to know what these ones are called. This is fun. Probably not if you're German. This one is Oma Elshart Geistig. Yeah, it's all gone wrong now. Oma Elshart Geschichten. I'm so sorry if you're German. This one is, oh, it's got one of those funny letters that we don't have in the UK alphabet. I'm trying to remember how you pronounce it. Kind of looks a bit like a capital B. Do you pronounce it as a bit, how, is it in the first sound? Alpha-gewöhnlich. Oh, that's so bad that I can't remember how to pronounce that letter. I think it's an F sound, in which case it's alpha-gewöhnlich. Oh dear. I'm really regretting this now. Maybe I'm going to cut this bit out of the podcast. This one, Maronduft. Maronenduft. 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 It's probably Maronenduft. I think it'll be more of an oof sound. Maronenduft. And this one, I still feel my German pronunciation might be better than my Italian. Maybe not. This one is Mein allerliebst Kuscheltier. Anyway, I think that is enough of me murdering other languages. I am very sorry. It's a sh sound, isn't it, that one? I think. Because now I've just seen that letter on something else and I want to say it's pronounced heis. My brain says it's a s sound. So in which case this would make that one außergewöhnlich. Okay, we'll leave that there. Let's never talk about that section again, okay? Shall we just all agree what started as a good idea went horribly wrong, and we're never going to talk about Amanda's German pronunciation for Opal sock yarn ever again. This tea has gone very cold. Okay. You know how some people do funny little outtakes or daft things that they said in their podcast at the beginning of their podcast when they edit it? I can't help thinking there'd be quite a lot to choose from today. Right. Okay. So those are the first things that I've bought since the last podcast. Then, as I said to you earlier, I went to the Nibbles, Needles and Hooks afternoon tea, and I went with Michelle and Fatima from my knit group, and we arrived, and I'm not sure how many people there were, 20 or 30, and there was Mandy, not from Mouse's Makes, a different Mandy, who I have met on Zoom before. She came over and said hello, so hi Mandy if you're watching, it was really, really nice to meet you. Got chatting to other ladies. There was also Hayley from Ducky Darling, so thank you. I didn't realise Hayley actually watches the podcast. Cut that bit out. I didn't realise that Hayley watches the podcast, so hi Hayley. So she was there, she runs Ducky Darling, she's the dyer. And there was a little goodie bag given to us. So in the goodie bag there is a mini, and that is a really, really pretty greens with yellow speckles, and that is going, no yellow, well yeah, some yellow speckles, some green speckles. That is going to go into my blanket, my granny scrap, my scrap granny stripe blanket. And we also got fruit tea because, you know, knitters, we like to get our fruit tea. And that is strawberry and cucumber green tea. So we'll give that a try. Lucky darlings. Just seen. I have just seen there's a discount code on the back of this card for those of us that were there. Won't share that obviously. And I've just seen that's only valid till the 22nd of September. That's dangerous. And a little biscuit. So yeah, those were, oh, and there was a stitch, Focus Keeper stitch marker as well. So that was our little goodie bag, which was really cute. And I bought some yarn from Hayley, of course I did. So I bought a set of minis to go in my scrap blanket. It's hardly scrap though, is it, when you buy the minis, but my granny stripe blanket. Because I could not resist these colours. Really, really pretty. I just love these pinks. There's this kind of grey lilac, this blue. So that was a really, really lovely bundle, blanket bundle. So I bought that from Hayley. And I also bought 3 skeins in one colour because I was wanting to do a 4-ply cardigan. I'm going to try and knit more cardigans, I think, at the moment. And so I got this in her rose gold. It's just absolutely beautiful. And this is actually Blueface Leicester. So this is 75/25 Blueface Leicester and nylon. So it would be fine for socks, but I'm going to use it for a cardigan. And the cardigan I'm thinking of doing is one called Posy. I'll put a picture up here. So that's the cardigan that I'm planning on doing with that. So it's called Posy. So yeah, so that was the yarn that I bought there, and that was just after my birthday, so I used money that I got given for my birthday to buy that. Right, so then, trying to think if I bought anything else. Oh, then I went to another knit meetup for the Derby knit group that I belong to, and we did an on-person meet, and Sarah, hi Sarah, was there. She's also known as Crafty Bow on Instagram. And I've completely forgotten to show this on the podcast. A couple of months ago I first met Sarah, and she had bought some amazing yarn for me. She'd messaged me to say it was on sale in Aldi, and I went to my local Aldi and they didn't have it. So she amazingly went to her Aldi and got it for me. And she in fact got 2 balls of this. Look at this. And it's the Crafty Aran. So Crafty Aran for Aldi. It's 100% acrylic. It's called Raspberry Sorbet. Such a gorgeous colour. And she got me 2 balls of this. So I'm just trying to see if it says on the front here how many yards. 800 metres. So I've got 1600 metres, which should be enough to do a sweater for me. And I do think a lovely Aran cable sweater. Not sure it's going to happen this winter though, but I've got 2 balls of this, so thank you Sarah. So she had already gifted that to me when I met her a couple of months ago, and then she amazingly, she's so brilliant, she had been going through some of her knitting patterns and cutting out, knitting magazines and cutting out patterns, and she kept the patterns that she knew she wanted, and then she brought to the knitting group patterns that from the magazines that she knew she didn't particularly want, and said to everybody, feel free, go through and take anything you like. So of course I did. So there was this lovely sock pattern, and that sock pattern, I'm just going to see, is from Knit Now magazine. I don't know which month, I can't see anything to say what month that comes from, but it's Knit Now magazine. It's called There's Something Blue Socks, and it's designed by Chiara, that's the Irish name, Chiara Nichrechten, and it uses West Yorkshire Spinners yarn in spearmint. And actually I'm just looking, they do quite a lot of sizes here. They go from extra small to extra large, so there's quite a lot of different sizes. So that's a really nice sock pattern. So I had that from Sarah, thank you. Then I saw this pattern for a cotton tunic, and you know that I quite like knitting in cotton, and I do have some cotton still in my stash. So this uses cotton DK, same colour actually, or very similar colour. This one's called Peppermint, that colour was Spearmint. And this is from Let's Knit, and the designer is, I just saw the designer, Sean Brown. The designer is Sean Brown. So I took that pattern, thought that looked a nice top. This was very me as well. This is from Knit Now magazine. So a lacy top, I like that. And this is designed by Scylla Webb. And this uses actually, wow, just seeing, so this uses Hayfield Bonus DK. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I'm reading the instructions about a different pattern there. This is Rowan Summerlight DK, and it's designed by Mona Zilla. So yeah, so that's the back of, that was a mermaid pattern. I wonder what that's like. And then there's this cable cardigan, which I could potentially actually do. Does it use Aran? Yes, it uses Aran, so it could be a potential for that pink Aran actually. So that is designed by, it uses Debbie Bliss Rialto Aran. It's from Simply Knitting, December 2008. So she was going through some old magazines. I can't see the name of the designer. They don't always give the name, do they? No, can't see the name of the designer for that one. So those are more acquisitions, but those were some free patterns from Sarah. And then the last acquisition, well, acquisitions, one was a gift. So I met with Mandy from Mouse's Makes. So as I was driving down to Devon, Mandy lives in that sort of area of the country, and so we arranged to meet, which was just really lovely to do, in a public place, because obviously we're meeting somebody in real life. So we arranged to meet at a yarn shop called the Lace Knittery, which was in Ilminster, and that was on my way down to my brother's house, and it's not too far from where Mandy lives, so we arranged to meet there. Absolutely beautiful yarn shop, and the lady who runs it is also a designer, and she's an amazing designer. She designs a lot of lace and colour work patterns, a lot of lace shawls, things like that, and the shop had a huge choice. So she had got some fibre spates, Rowan, sheepies, or skeepies, Jameson Shetland, hedgehog fibres, just loads and loads of beautiful, beautiful yarns. And actually, this is what caught my eye, was some sheepies, terrazzo, which is a recycled yarn, and they've done it very much. It knits up the same gauge, the same meterage, etc., as Rowan Felted Tweed. Rowan Felted Tweed is about £10 per ball. This was £6, and I really liked the colours. There were lots of beautiful colours, and so then I said, oh, I fancy doing a colour work scarf or cowl. And at the Lace Knittery she'd also got a huge array of books, so I had to flick through some books to get some ideas. And I love Mary Wallin, and there were some Mary Wallin designs and various things, but nothing I would say that jumped off the page as this is what. And then I was like, do you know what, I could just design something myself. I knew that I'd got a colour work book, so I decided to try and buy some balls of yarn that I thought would kind of go together in Colourworks stripes. So I thought these two have enough contrast to make some really nice stripes. These two. These two. And you knew there had to be some purple in there somewhere, didn't you? And these two. But I also thought all of these could go quite well together anyway, because I could then put those two together, I could put those two together, I could put those two together. So all of them go really well together. And I started kind of sketching out. It's a DK weight, so if I'm going to do, I've worked out, I'm going to knit it in the round as Colourwork, so the floats etc will be hidden. I don't know if I've got enough balls. I've got 8 balls, but I don't know that I might not need to buy some more, either in the same shades and double up, or whether I'll get 2 more shades. I'll probably just buy more of those shades, I think, if I need to though. Oh, do you want to know what the shades are? So this is 735 Fontana, and actually the colour is showing quite well there. Fontana 735. This is Garifano. Again, I'm going to get some great pronunciation. I don't even know. I know Skippy's is Scandinavian, but I don't even know which language I'm trying to pronounce now. Garifano 724, and that's coming out brighter than it is in real life. It's more muted than that. This, which is almost like a dusky pink, is Argilla, A-R-G-I-L-L-A, and it's 725. That's coming out quite well. I wonder if I hold that further back, if that comes out less bright. Yeah, it's a little, yeah. So you can see, put those two together. This is colourway 720 Sangria. That's a Spanish word anyway. This is 727 Cardo. Love that. This is 731 Millenio. This is 728 Uva or Uva, U-V-A. Now that looks more blue, and it is purple rather, but I guess it is a bluey purple. Obviously that is blue. When you put it together you can see that this is more of a purpley blue. And then the last one is 712 Sassolino. That's probably the palest. So I've started trying to sort of sketch some ideas for different patterns to use. And then I remembered that I have this entire book called 200 Fair Isle Designs, Knitting Charts, Combination Designs and Colour Variations. So I'm going to have a read through as well, because it talks to you about classic design principles of different types of patterns, Peary patterns, border patterns. So it talks here about colour harmonies. So I'm actually going to try and do a little bit of theory here. Colour theory, it talks about blocking and finishing, steeking. Oh, there won't be any steeking in this. Correcting mistakes. There won't be any increase and decreasing. It talks about how to weave with both hands or single hand. So there's no right way of doing this. Just point that out, because I know some people who hold the colour, do the 2 colours in 2 hands, but you don't have to. I've got a proper book here that shows you how to do it all with right hand, both hands, just the left hand. So managing floats, yarn dominance. So there's quite a lot in here that I think is going to be really helpful. Bumps, how to avoid the bumps. So yeah, so I'm going to have a little read through there, and And as I say, this has got loads and loads of different charts. So I'm going to have a bit of fun, I think. And it's really good because it tells you how many stitches. Now I worked out for each, sorry, how many stitches a pattern repeat is. Now I worked out that if I wanted to, a scarf that was going to be approximately 10 inches wide in a DK weight, in theory, should be about 112 stitches. Although I've noticed though this says, it actually says 27 stitches. DK weight, so it actually says 27 stitches for 10 centimetres. So I might have to do a bit more calculation, because I figured 100, I worked out the reason I picked 112 is 112 stitches has quite a lot of different factors. So you can use different repeats. And I worked out if I had 112 stitches, that would give me, I could use repeats of 2, 4, 7, 8, 14 and 16. But now I've seen that this knits at 27, and I excuse me, I know that doesn't sound like a DK weight, but it does say it's the same as Rowan felted tweed, and that you do need to knit it at a tighter gauge. So I might have to do a little bit more working out now then of something, how many stitches I'm going to need to give me roughly 10 inches. I'm not sure, not bothered if it's 9 inches, 9.5 inches, 10.5 inches. So I need to do a bit of maths, because I want a stitch count that will give me a lot of options for different stitch patterns. I hope that makes sense. And I'm going to basically have a play around, and I'll use that book to help me, and I'm going to create my own colourwork scarf. And that is not all my acquisitions, because I'm saving the best to last here, and I really hope you stayed with me to see this. So when I met Mandy, we both gave each other some presents. I gave Mandy some yarn, one of which is for her make along as a prize, and one for her. And she had made me this absolutely beautiful project bag, which also came with a lovely Notions, big size Notions bag. So I say I've put my Yarndale sweater into that, so my Here Comes the Sun sweater. So she made me this amazing, I love, this is just so me. So Mandy, thank you, and I'm just, thank you. Absolutely beautiful fabric. Absolutely love the fabric. Look at this Notions pouch, gorgeous little stitch marker on the end here. Inside it, because as Mandy says, it's tradition to give tea, and I think it does seem to be in the knitter community. So lovely super berries, because she knows as well, she remembered that I prefer fruit tea, I don't drink normal tea. So super berries, English tea, so I've got 2 tea bags. And then there was also in here a little tin with a tape measure inside. So awesome. And then the bag, it's a drawstring bag. She also gave me a whole load more stitch markers. So what an amazing gift. Thank you so much. I keep looking at, and then it's lined with this beautiful purple fabric, and inside it are some pockets as well. So I have got my Yarndale Here Comes the Sun sweater in here, and there's plenty of room in here for the jumper and a few balls of yarn in there at a time. I've got all the ball bands and the oddments of yarn in there. And so what an amazing gift. Thank you so much, Mandy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I absolutely love it. It's got handmade little tag on there as well. So thank you. It's just beautiful. Really, really love this bag. It's just such a perfect colour for me. And that is it So we are at 1 hour and 10 minutes, so it's been a long one today. I said it was going to be. So much knitting in my life in the last 2 weeks. It has just been awesome. So I've been to knitting groups, seen knitting friends, been to 3 or 4 different yarn shops and places. So it's been brilliant. I go back to work this week. Today is Monday, Bank Holiday Monday. I'm back at school properly on Wednesday. I'm going to go into school tomorrow to get some work done. So yeah, I'm back at work properly this week. So, but the first week of term isn't usually too bad. It's tiring, but not usually too bad really. So hopefully I will still get quite a lot of knitting done in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully. But it'll just be probably knitting on simple things because I'll be tired. So get the sleeves done on Eloise's Treelight sweater and keep going on my Here Comes the Sun. Those two, I guess, are going to be the main focus because they've both got deadlines the next few weeks. 24th of September, that's about a month, and then middle of October, about 6 weeks. So they're going to get a lot of work, but then I've got a lot done on those recently. Right, so thank you for sticking with me. I really, really hope that you've enjoyed looking at all my projects, all my new acquisitions, which has been quite a lot, hasn't it? And finished objects though, I had finished objects. So thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, please, if you don't already subscribe to the channel, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. That would be awesome. And yeah, I'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Happy knitting.